Oh god, okay. Yeah, they've completely fallen off would be quite something. They're so bad. It feels mental to say by far least out of any team in the league. Oh, that's really thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. I think pound for pound, potentially the best squad in the league. Just a gut feeling. Lip, man. No, I'm not happy with that. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving my updated championship predictions. So we're over halfway through the season now. It's time to first of all look back at my prediction from the start of the season, which I can't remember them, but I'm pretty sure I got quite a few horrifically wrong as expected. And then I'm going to be updating them and giving my new predictions. Let me know what yours are in the comments below. So let's reveal this. Let's see my predictions from the start of the season. How bad is this going to be? Oh god, okay, yeah. I mean, that's what I expected. I expected it to be that bad, but yeah. I mean, no, it is bad. I was trying to help myself out there. No. I mean, I think there's like a couple which are completely wrong, which makes it look really bad. But other than that, honestly, it's not that bad. Right, if Blackburn and Luton swap round, and like Watford and Coventry swap round, maybe, it's not like, no, yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. Blackburn, yeah, it's Blackburn and Luton, really, that I got completely wrong. Complete fair play to John Eustace. We'll get onto them in a minute and look at whether they can make it into playoffs. But yeah, fair play after losing Sammy Smodics. I did not think they would, well, stay up in the division. Obviously they are. But let's get into this and update them. So going down, it's certainly not going to be Blackburn. So I'm going to put them up there for now. It's not going to be Watford. I'm going to put them up there for now. It could be Hull. It could be Cardiff. It could be Millwall. I think Swansea probably are just... Oh, and I got to drag these lot down all the way. Luton. It could be Luton as well. Am I missing someone? I don't think so. Plymouth. Look, I know they've just had a really good result away at the Stadium of Light against Sunderland, so that's going to be a big confidence boost, especially after, you know, not winning away for so long. A really poor season so far for Plymouth, but I just don't see them finishing anywhere other than 24th, let alone staying up. So unfortunately, I'm going to say that they're going down. I also think Morgan Whittaker, yeah, he's going to be a massive loss going to Middlesbrough. And I mean, you know, in terms of stats, they 23rd worst for goals per game, worst for goals conceded per match, averaging 2.1 goals conceded per match. That's, you know, never going to get you well in the championship. You know, two clean sheets all season, bottom for XG, bottom for shots on target per match, bottom for big chances, bottom for big chances missed, bottom for like all of these stats. Accurate crosses per matches, touches in opposition box, corners. Oh, the first one thing though, XG conceded. So yeah, it's not looking brilliant. Obviously, Miran Muslic was given a very tough set of hands to deal with. Wayne Rooney didn't give him the kindest of positions to pick up from. We haven't seen enough from the new manager to really judge him yet, but I think they can definitely scrape some results along the way. But I just think the teams above them are better than them, and unfortunately for them, I think they will be going down. They've made some additions already. They brought in Michael Beidou from Elfsborg. He's a striker, which I don't know a lot about him, but he looks to be an alright signing. They've lost Andrew Gray as well, so needed to replace him because he was their top goal scorer so far, only with 3, but still their top goal scorer. Plymouth down, unfortunately. Moving on to 22nd, and I'm tempted not to move Derby County from there, which, I mean, a couple of weeks ago would have probably been a bold prediction, but yeah, they've completely fallen off, and I don't want recency bias to kind of affect me too much, because I know, like, you know, in a week the championship can just like completely change if you go on a good run or bad run of form. But yeah, that 2-1 loss to Cardiff will really hurt. It's such a promising start to the season, and I did have them to go down with at the start of the season. Yeah, they really impressed me at the start of the season, but I mean, haven't won a game since Boxing Day. To be fair, they did win 2-1 against West Brom for that game, but lost 6 in a row in the league, so it's not looking brilliant for them so far. They are ranked 15th in the division for goals per match and goals conceded per match, 1.1 goals per match, 1.4 conceded per match. And I think it's not a lot of these teams, there's one obvious thing. It's either they're really bad defensively or really bad in front of goal, or you're Plymouth and you're bad at both. So I don't think they're like particularly bad at either, but they're not really scoring enough goals, only 32. But I mean, defensively, that's okay. 40 goals conceded, that's 11 less than Portsmouth above them, so it's not too bad. But ultimately, I do think, yeah, I'm gonna put them 23rd because I feel more confident that they'll go down than any of these teams. So those are my bottom 2. Now into 22nd, the final team going down. I don't think it'll be Oxford. I don't think it'll be Millwall. It will not be Preston. I don't really know why Preston are there, to be honest. Oh, it's out of those. It's out of those. Stoke, Pompey, Cardiff, Hull and Luton. I'm very, very tempted to say Luton, which, considering I put them second in the start of the season predictions, would be quite something. They're so bad. They are so bad. They haven't won a game since the 20th of December, and that was against Derby. So yeah, they're really bad. They didn't go on a longer streak without a win, even in the Premier League last season. So they are really doing the opposite of Ipswich, and I would not be surprised if they do double back-to-back relegations, because they are not scoring nearly enough goals, and they're conceding 1.7 a game on average. It's hard to just kind of put your finger on why exactly, like, they just haven't been able to adjust back to the Championship, because they were so good in the season that they went up from the Championship, and it's largely the same squad. Like, players like Tahith Chong, I thought were just going to really like the league, but they obviously haven't. So yeah, I'm going to go of Luton there. I think Matt Bloomfield will be able to do a job, and if they do go down, I think he'll be in a good position to then take them back up again. But yeah, that feels mental to say, but Luton doing a back-to-back relegation is what I'm going for, apparently. Then, I think it's these three next. Pompey. By the way, the only reason I haven't put Pompey down is because I am a Pompey fan, just to show my bias. But so yeah, I'll put Pompey 21st just because of the away form. It's literally like, I've never seen a more extreme example of home versus away, like Jekyll and Hyde. It's crazy. I don't understand it really, because it is the same team. I don't know if it's like a mentality thing, but I mean, we're just thrashing teams. We're beating Middlesbrough, put 4 past Swansea. The best example is we beat 3-0. We beat Bristol City 3-0 at home. We lost 3-0 away. We beat Stoke 3-1. We lost 6-1 away. So I think until we can kind of start scraping together some away results, we can't just rely on home games all season. So the point when we start dropping points and start losing games at home, then it's really worrying. As far as our key players so far, Callum Lang has been incredible. Colby Bishop coming back has really helped. I don't think we'd be as close to safety as we are without him. Josh Murphy's been really good. Matt Ritchie in recent weeks as well. Obviously, Freddie Potts, brilliant. Nicholas Schmid has been good, but that game against West Brom, we'll leave it there. Was showing hints of Will Norris. In terms of transfers, we brought in Isaac Hayden. I think he's shown some Premier League quality already, linking up with Ritchie, which is looking good. Rob Atkinson on loan. Thomas Waddingham, who came on and scored on his debut, the only positive from that game. And then we're getting Hayden Matthews as well. That's just the start, hopefully, to building up this team and hopefully securing a Championship status. Then in whatever that is, 20th, I'm going to go for Cardiff. They're in good form at the moment. They haven't lost since Boxing Day to Oxford. They're getting results. I think they're starting to fix their defensive problems. They're not scoring a whole load, but if they're getting the 1-1 draws, the 1-0, 2-1 wins, and if you're a Cardiff fan, you can't really complain about that, considering how it was looking at one point in the season. So yeah, I'm going to go with Cardiff. They're a bit more business just to really secure that, and I think they'll be fine. Hull City, I'm going to put Hull there. I think I wasn't too sure about Ruben Sellers, whether he'd be able to transform them in that short of a time, but I think he has. Again, I don't know if that's recency because they beat Sheffield United, but yeah, I think it's looking promising from him, and I don't doubt that they'll be able to stay in the league, scraping some good results together. Still not like a lot of consistency in there, but I think honestly they have enough quality in that squad to stay up. I think once Abu Kamara can get like properly firing, I think he'll be a real help too. So then I'm going to go for Stoke. They kind of looked like they were going to be comfortable mid-table this season, but they have fallen off quite drastically in the recent months or so, and it is pretty clear that their issues lie in the goal scoring department, because they've scored 26 and they are stat padding a bit from the Pompey game. 6 of them came in that game. If Will Norris had a pair of arms, then that's like 6 less goals. They just scored 20 goals, which is by far the least out of any team in the league. So if they can maybe make an addition in that department, obviously losing Tom Cannon, that's just not helped that whatsoever. So if Ali Al Hamadi from Ipswich, they got on loan as a striker, if he can start firing, that could definitely help out. But I think they're going to be in some trouble. I think all of these teams are going to be in trouble. Maybe not these two, but definitely these. Then Oxford and Millwall, to be honest, I think they're going to be safe, whatever. But Oxford, yeah, I did predict them to stay up, to be fair, at the start of the season. But yeah, I think they've surprised most people, really. I was very shocked at the sacking of Buckingham, but Gary Rout's come in and does what he was going to do always. You know, it's not beautiful, but he's getting the results and he's going to keep them in the division, it looks like. So fair play. In the goal scoring department, I think honestly they're doing well. I think defensively there are some problems, but yeah, I don't honestly see them really going down unless they have a really bad drop off in form. And then Millwall, yeah, again, think they're going to be fine, really. I don't see them. If Tanganga was to leave, then maybe it would be another story. But I think, yeah, obviously Romain Esse is going to be a huge miss, which is probably what's going to stop them from pushing up into the mid-table. And obviously it is weird because they were like pushing playoffs at one point in the season. But yeah, it's been a frustrating few months or so with the departure of Neil Harris. But I think they'll keep ticking along. Alex Neil will do an all right job. Millwall need to go there. So that's Millwall in 16th. 15th then, at them probably Swansea. They're going to be on the beach, really. They're not going to push for playoffs, but they're not. I mean, they are in some pretty stinking form, but I don't think they'll be going down there. Although, I mean, they haven't won since the 29th of December, and that was only against Luton, so there could potentially be some problems. You know, only scored 32 goals, but I think they'll be fine. Yeah. So then next, I'm gonna say Preston North End, and the opposite to Swansea. They're in some pretty good form at the moment. Beat Middlesbrough 2-1. They also Watford 2-1. So yeah, they're ticking along with some nice performances. Defensively, they're pretty sound, honestly, from what I've seen. 10 clean sheets this season, not too bad. It's Preston. What do you expect? They're going to finish in mid-table. Then up next, I've gone for Watford. So, I mean, they're 9th at the moment, so I've got them dropping down to whatever that is, 13th, that much. But another team in quite bad form, lost to Coventry 2-1 yesterday. So I think it's really my issue with them is in the defensive department. 1.4 goals conceded per match on average. That's the 17th worst in the league, but 1.4 goals scored a match on average as well, which is the 6th best in the league, so a lot better. They do like the ball as well. Tom Cleverley's men normally average over 50%, so yeah, I think, again, all of these teams, I mean, there's no point talking about them really for too long because I think they're all going to be fine, if we're being honest. So the next in 12th, oh yeah, I nearly forgot about these lot. I'm going to put Coventry down from there, predicting them to put whether they were 4th. Didn't quite work out like that. It hasn't gone to plan for Coventry whatsoever this season, but it looks like Frank Lampard's come in and brought some form of consistency, certainly a lot better than it was at the start of the season. Under Mark Robbins, really just went horribly wrong for them, but they're finding some good form now. Won all of their last 3, haven't lost since the 4th of January, and yeah, I think they're starting to find the back of their net more. They're starting to defend theirs a lot better, not conceded too many compared to the start of the season. In the recent games, they've kept 2 clean sheets in the last 3, and yeah, looks like, you know, Hadji Wright, Mason Clark, Victor Torp, Radoni are all really come into their own now for the second half of the season. And yeah, I have no doubts that they will be mid-table at the very least and could potentially push on for more than that. We're now into the playoff contention spots. I'm going to put QPR in 11. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put all the playoff contention teams. Right, so I'm not putting Blackburn to win the league yet. I'm just moving these teams out of the way. No, Blackburn are in... What am I on about? Blackburn are in playoff contention. Right, I should move Sunderland out of the way, basically. So, yeah, I think... Middlesbrough needs to be there. So those 4 are going to be the top 4. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll get onto them in a minute. But as for the playoff spots, I think these 3 are just going to miss out. I'm going to go QPR in 11th, Sheffield Wednesday in 10th, Bristol City in 9th. Obviously QPR completely transformed their season. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what happened at the start, but they were looking like they were down and out at some points of it. They've been keeping more clean sheets, starting to score a lot more, and Michael Frey, Elias Chair, and Jimmy Dunn and stuff are all firing, and it's looking pretty good for them. I wouldn't be surprised if they did definitely make a attempt for the playoffs and challenge for it, but I don't think that they'll have enough to do so, just because if we do start to see that start the season form creep in again to any extent, then because that was not good. Sheffield Wednesday, then I think they're a good side, but when you look at the teams above them, the Norwiches, the West Broms, the Middlesbroughs, it's just I don't think that they have what it takes to finish above them, and that is almost solely because of their defensive record. 21st worst defence in the league, 4th best attack in the league though. No problems putting it in the back of the net, but they could maybe bring in some more defensive reinforcement in the January window. Maybe we could be looking at a higher place finish for them, but I'm just not too sure about that. Bristol City then, patchy form at the moment, but I think that's a good squad. Scott Twine, Jason Knight, I think it's a fine squad, but I don't think it's one that can challenge. It can challenge, but I don't think it will be getting into the playoffs. At the moment, they're pretty consistent, both in terms of scoring and defending. Don't concede too many, don't score too many there. So that is 11th, 10th and 9th. Now these 4, all with a good shout. I'm going to put Middlesbrough in there in 5th, and one of these other teams are going to join them. I'm going to put Middlesbrough there probably just because of their goals, 1.6 a game, the 3rd best in the league. I think Latte Laff is a sensational striker, probably arguably the best in the division. Finn Azaz, Tommy Conway, Ben Doak. It's, in terms of player for player in that attack, it is arguably the best in the league. Finn Azaz, 17 goals and assists this season so far. He is a really good player. Latte Laff, as I touched on, brilliant. Ben Doak, really good so far. But it's the attacking players are so good, but it's just the defence is a worry, and that's why I don't think they'll be able to challenge any of those 4 teams above them. And for a very similar reason, the other playoff spot is going to go for Norwich, and that's again down to their goals and down to their key players in obviously Borja Sainz, league top goal scorer, 15 goals, 18 goals and assists, and Sargent back now firing. That is a force to be reckoned with, I think. Blackburn, like I said earlier, they've shocked everyone really. John Eustace I rate so highly. I mean, what he's managed to do after, losing Sammy Smodics, keeping them, I was going to say keeping them up, nearly getting into playoffs, but I think we're starting to see a little drop off in form now. They've lost their last 3, but defensively they've been pretty good. 1 goal conceded per game, that's 7th best in the division. In terms of their players, I think it's a decent squad. I really like Max Argay. I don't know why. I think every time I watch him, I really think he's an underrated player. 6 assists this season. Andres Weinman as well, and then West Brom just narrowly missing out in 7th. It could be Norwich or West Brom, I don't think, but I'm going to go for Norwich, and in a similar way to Borja Sainz, Josh Madger is the equivalent. He's really, really good. If you take Tom Fellows and Josh Madger out of that side, I don't know if it makes top half, so I think that's probably why I'm just going to go for them to miss out. That's that. Right, so now it's these 4, but if you can't tell, I'm going off the flow here. I've not written any of these down. I'm just going with the flow, and I kind of thought about these, but every time I think about it, I think a different one. And this weekend has really changed up as well, because Sheffield United lost 3-0 to Hull on Friday night, which is home as well. That's really thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. Plymouth drawing with Sunderland too, again at home. So, and then I'm recording this before the Burnley Leeds game as well, so that will definitely play a factor in what I put, although that has got a bit of a 0-0 written all over it, hasn't it? But in terms of the qualities of each, Burnley, it's obviously defence. They are so good defensively. Part of me is still not convinced by it, and I don't know why. I don't know whether that's just because it's Scott Parker and I'm still for some reason not sold on it, even though every time he does this, every time he gets promoted, and I need to just accept that. But there's just a bit, I don't know whether it's just the lack of goals, whether it's what, I don't know, but 1.29 goals per match average by Burnley. That is the 11th best in the division. 0.3 goals conceded. It's mental. They are so good defensively, and as the saying goes, attack wins games, defense wins titles, and it might just win Scott Parker this one. But I think, if I'm being honest, the only one I'm sure about is that Leeds will finish in first, if not second. These 3. Sheffield United, I think, pound for pound, potentially the best squad in the league, especially with some of their additions now and some of the players they're linked with. All of these 4 of these are linked with some mental players. Bringing in Tom Cannon, Ben Brereton Diaz, Michael Cooper in goal has been good too. They're building somewhat of a super squad here. Yeah, there's inconsistencies there, as we saw in the whole game, but prior to that, they hadn't lost in the league since Boxing Day, and that was to Burnley. So, this is so hard. The thing is, if anyone puts in any order, you can't really argue. It's just like, I feel like Sunderland are getting really, really looked over because these 3 are so good. There's something about, I just feel like Sunderland will do it, but I don't know why. If I could give you a stat, some really incisive thing, but unfortunately it's just a gut feeling. I think Wilson Isidore, Chris Rigg, Eliza Mayenda, Patrick Roberts, Trey Hume, Joe Bellingham. But I've got a full video on breaking down Sunderland. So I guess that is actually my underlying data. Right, I'm just gonna go font and stick with it, and I'll be editing, and I'll be like, you absolute. Why have you gone for that? No, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that, man. Sheffield United. I know they lost 3-0 to Hull. Okay, it's a blip, man. Should I go Burnley? No, right. Okay, that's that. That's done. That is my updated championship predictions. It can't go worse than my start of the season ones, which were pretty bad. So, to recap, in 24th, going down, I've got Plymouth with them, Derby and Luton Town doing a double relegation. Just staying up, I've got Pompey, Cardiff, Hull and Stoke. Oxford, Millwall, Swansea, Preston, Watford and Coventry in the mid-table spots. And then contending for the playoffs, I've got QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, Bristol City, Blackburn Rovers, West Bromwich Albion. Then in the playoffs, I have got Norwich, Middlesbrough, Sunderland and Burnley. And going up, Sheffield United and Leeds. Those top 4, and then let me know who you think we got. So that is my predictions. Yeah, let me know yours in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.